I'm gonna make sure the sound is working real quick before we.
That's a good idea. Just double check it. Just double check that.
Is the sound working?
Is
everyone
on
who
Twitch?
is clearly piling into the chat.
We're all making noise.
Make some noise.
Yeah, that's it. That's the song.
That's the sound.
That was one of your streams. Was just that.
Yep, it was me driving home with that.
Because you're like, I gotta cheese these numbers.
I gotta cheese these numbers.
Yep, that's Ethan fudge the numbers Hawks.
I had everything else.
How many of your followers are real, Ethan? How many of them are real?
Honestly, probably about 50 now.
Real.
Probably about 50 to be honest.
I'm real. All right, let's start this podcast.
You're real. You did it legit. Oh, that was public.
That was public.
I realized we're streaming, and I admitted I fudged my numbers.
Oh no! The Twitch police are coming to get you.
It's been this has been a sting for what 7 years in the running. I've got you.
No.
Ricardo, good job on the operation. Cuff him.
Oh no! You're not Ricardo.
You're Ricardo without a mustache.
Even crazier.
It's me, Dicardo.
Oh no, not Dicardo.
Officer Dicardo.
I'm a private Dicardo.
Gonna hire
Rock
my
hard
own
undercover cop.
my own private Dicardo.
Chaff chub.
Head of the investigation.
Yeah. Uncut investigation.
Yeah, was that gonna penetrate Ethan's defenses.
Oh, no.
What a thrilling climax.
Oh, he's coming to get me.
We have
Balls.
A podcast.
Dicks.
We have a podcast about video games. I think.
Sorry, I thought I gave you enough slack.
We have fun here on the
Give me more
show.
slack. Cut me some slack,
podcast.
Jack. I speak jive.
Hello and welcome to the Pixel Podcast. My name is Matt, and I'm here with Ethan.
Hey, what's
Normal
up?
numbers Hawks.
Normal numbers, Hogs, all normalized.
And Ricardo.
It's me,
Private Dicardo.
indeed. Head of investigation. Private
Yes, okay, yeah, we already went.
Private Eye.
Before the stream, we already went through a bunch of that. All right. Anyway, moving
Oh, we're
on.
streaming. If you want to catch that.
yeah.
Before the recording, I should
But
say.
see,
we're-
that's the thing is, if you're just listening to this on a recording, you need to be catching the streams live on Thursday.
Thursday, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Around there.
because You're missing
around 8
out.
o'clock.
Probably
Yeah, you're missing about 30 seconds of great content.
at least
Maybe
75%
maybe a
of the
minute.
show.
great is a strong word. You're missing about 45 to 2 minutes worth of content. Then we start streaming then we start recording for
You got to
reals.
get that full Pixel Legends picture, though.
We don't want any of that unprofessional stuff on the podcast.
No.
We like to get that out of the way beforehand, and then now we just do serious stuff after that. So
Absolutely.
yeah, this is why you listen to the iTunes version, because you just want the hard facts.
Right, Private Eye
Hard
Dicardo?
facts.
I believe in a thing called love.
All right.
Get down to the rhythm of your heart.
Yeah.
I believe we have not played that many new video games.
It's
But
true.
we can still talk about them.
One could say I played no new video games.
Wow, you could say that. Would that be true?
It would be very accurate,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Oh, okay. Wow. Wow,
Yes.
look at that. Okay. All right.
Up in there.
Yeah.
Many times.
Well, in that case, Ethan, what have you been playing?
I have been playing more Forza. I finally got all the first missions done. I'm finally in fall, legit fall, although it probably is now going to be winter.
I think it's gonna winter pretty soon, right?
Gonna be winter pretty soon.
Maybe on Tuesday. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if it switches over. But man, that game opens up a lot more even when you just finish
Yeah.
it. It takes so long
Amber's
to
been
get
playing
there
around.
though.
Yeah, it does take a long time.
It's like takes a good like 5 hours probably to get to be 4 or 5 hours to
Yeah,
get to
because
like
they give you about an hour's worth of stuff to do, and even or they
in
give you more than
each-
that.
yeah, in
but
each freaking-
in each season.
season. So yeah, but then it opens up and then it gets a little confusing because it's like I want to do a circuit match. So it's like cool. I do click one. I do a circuit game where it's like a bunch of actually it's like you do 4 different races and they all, Mario Grand Prix style. I got the points.
Like you get points, and
Yeah,
then at the end it's
But
like, this is the winner.
Exactly, but it doesn't do it one after the other. It's like, oh, you did it. Okay, now you can go do another one at somewhere else on the map.
Oh,
Yeah,
you don't just
drive
get
to
taken
it. So
you have to
the
drive
next
to it.
point?
And
That's
also,
kinda
it's
weird.
kind of weird. And
But you can do other things
You
in
can
between.
do other stuff in between, but I also was just the labeling is not 100% clear because they're very similar to other because there's multiple types of those and they all look very similar. So it's hard to tell what is a whole new one and what is a continuation of the one I started. That was where I kind of
okay.
got messed up because I went to one and I drove there and I was like, okay, start. It's like, are you sure you want to erase your current setting or current standing and start a new
Right.
one? And I'm like,
What does that mean?
no, I don't. I want to keep it.
Mhm.
So I went and drove to a different one. Eventually, I found it all, but it's not as clear as it could have been. I wish there were a little more.
Yeah,
The
that map gets really busy with a lot of icons.
Very busy. But it's fun. I've gotten into just driving.
Yeah.
Like every time I see a influencer sign,
Yeah,
you gotta
smash that
You
sign.
smash that sign. There's also fast travel points. I don't really understand because I've never fast traveled, but you can smash them if you want.
Have you done any of the live events? I saw Amber
I'm
do one of
not-
those. the
I
other
wanted
day.
I wanted to do one because I saw that big where it's like Horizathon or something like that is what it's called. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember the big blimp thing. There's like a big blimp over
yeah.
the live events.
I need to do those. I have not gotten that. I literally just got to like the end and I was like, this is awesome. I can't wait to play more.
They're really cool. I saw Amber do one. She's not here this week, obviously, but she did a live event where It was on Edinburgh Castle, which is really cool. And then they had to like drive through the streets to this, like they like highlights a zone. It's like, go to this zone, everybody go to this zone. So then everyone's like driving together to this one zone, and it's like, all right, I do a bunch of trick points or like you know like
smash things or whatever.
like smash things or like do like I am bad.
Burnouts,
drifting, burnouts, like also all whatever stuff will like get you like points. And then it's like, all right, great, you guys hit the point value. You have like a time limit to do that, and it's like, all right, everybody, you hit the point value. Now go over here, this area, and you like drive over there. The only downside is you do have to do all those areas to win the live event when it happens. And like only 2 other people ended up joining this live event that she was on.
Yeah.
And then like they didn't have enough points to beat the first area, but not the second area. So then it just fails. And then you still get experience points for the stuff that you did do, but you don't get like
the thing that's weird about it is the multiplayer. It's not like you go to a place and there's like 4 different options. There's solo, co-op, versus, and rivals, which I don't know exactly how to trigger the rival stuff yet. But if you want to do co-op or versus, you have to click in there and it'll start searching for people. It gives you, I think, a minute to search for people.
Makes sense.
But those people, it's not the whole world. It's just the people in your session. Which is like it's pretty big. It's like maybe 60 people, 64 people, I think, are in there. Or something
Is it really that?
It might be 32. It might be 32.
I thought the session's like 30.
You might want to double check. But it's sizable, but it's not enough where someone's like, oh, I don't want to do that race. Like, it benefits them because almost everything you do will give you points or whatever. But the only way people know that someone's starting that is there's a little teeny tiny like highlight in the corner of the screen. It's like hit LB, and then you could bring up all the people who are doing live events or looking for people, and then you could join in and do that stuff. But it's kind of weird that there is a way, I think, to do events that are like open, but I think you have to go to a whole separate tab to like go to like open events, and they're kind of like a weird playlist thing you play through. It's very strange. I think that would be cool if you had a bunch of friends playing at once and you're all in that, kind of like Monster Hunter, where it's like if everyone's in the same session, the amount of enjoyment kind of goes up significantly, where it's you got a big group of people playing. So I think that would be more fun, but I have not figured out how to like do that, or nor do I have a lot of friends that really are into this game, despite it. A lot of people I know playing it, like no one's on at the same time. It's a very good solo game, you know, but it also would be fun to actually get in a session with a bunch of people I know.
Could try to do so.
Yeah, I wish also it maybe would auto match you, like if Amber was on, it would auto match me with her. Like
that would be smart since you guys are Xbox Live friends.
With the Monster Hunter, like you could join friends session or whatever.
Yeah.
Or join like teammates.
Maybe you could do that. Again, I've not been online when she's been online, or one of our other friends.
Each server supports up to 72 players.
Oh, okay. Wow,
that's what it says. But I've
only seen up to like 36.
I have not seen nearly that many players on a. It says like up to 72 players, but I don't think that I've ever seen that many in one session, so to speak.
Yeah, I wonder kind of what selects it. But
yeah,
I don't know. I still am having a ton of fun with that game, and I want to continue playing it. But I got another game. But an interesting way I got this game, because I did not buy this game.
Oh. How'd you get this game?
Ethan's spending money on a video game?
I know, right? I was almost thinking about getting this. I was like, oh, I'm going to get Red Dead instead, probably. Anyway, I started playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And the reason I started playing it is because a news item we didn't mention last week is that Google started their own streaming service.
They did. Did you get invited?
And I was able to get an invite to get in that because I applied for it, and I was like, whatever. If I get it, I get it. I don't. Got an invite, and I started playing it. So for people who don't know, this is Google's rolling out a streaming service that's
what's it called again?
Oh god, I have it bookmarked. Project Stream is what it's called right now. They might change it.
Sure.
But it is extremely simple, like insanely simple how easy it is. Like it's scary how easy it was. I didn't realize I was playing the game, like because it's literally like you open it up, it says like sign in with your Google account, make sure you have a Ubisoft account. It's like okay, cool, did all that, and then it's like okay. Why don't you check your connection? So you check your connection, and it will go through and be like, hey, why don't you, we're going to stream and see how your streaming connection is to see, I guess, like the bit rate and if you can actually do it. And, you know, so make sure you have a good experience because I think it'll cut you off if you're going to have too bad of an experience.
Very good way to ensure positive reviews.
Yeah, and then
the setup looks good.
The setup looks good. I'm just doing it right now in front of Ricardo so you can see. And then you can plug in a mouse or keyboard. And you should do
a window capture on your stream sometimes so we can
so people can see this.
Capture stuff like this in the future.
We'll
have to create a new template though.
And it just starts, so you're in the game. And it was weird
That's crazy.
It's crazy, and
does it like keep your saves and stuff like that?
it
Like,
keeps
do you
all
have
your
to,
saves on the cloud, so I could go and play it on my Chromebook, or I could play it on any other computer, and it would be the exact same game.
Does it work with controllers?
And it works with controllers when you plug it in.
How does it run? Would you say?
Okay, so I guess that is the big question. I gotta close this because now the stream's music's probably playing. Anyway, exit game. So the game itself runs really good for me. Of course, I am on a wired connection on this computer, so it's getting like the biggest pipe it can. And I do have a pretty fast internet. It's not as fast as Matt's, but it's still pretty reasonably fast, 350 megabits down. It ran really good. Like there was almost only one time it had like kind of artifacts and compression I noticed in probably about the 2.5 hours I played the game. And it was just lasted for like maybe like 30 seconds, then it cleared up. But the thing that was cool about it is when the resolution and everything kind of dropped down, the input lag didn't seem to change. It didn't seem to get any laggier. It didn't seem to have a connection issue that way. So the game still played fine. It just looked a little fuzzy. It was pretty cool.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's really cool. I was really surprised by how well it ran. Like honestly, I kind of forgot I was streaming a game. Like especially because the last time I played streaming or doing any sort of like these streaming services was on live. I don't know if you guys remember that. That came out like
I do. I remember because it was
Yeah.
like a big.
I tried it like one time. I feel like
I tried it once. I thought it was a really cool way to try demos because you didn't want to ever play a full game on it because it ran like ass. It would stutter. It just technology for that stuff wasn't quite there. With the video compression, the input. And all that
OnLive's
stuff.
dead at this point. Yeah.
I believe it is dead. Yeah. I remember Gaikai was the other competitor, and that got bought up in his PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because then I know news story later on, but Xbox announced or Microsoft announced that they're going to do their own streaming thing. So it's kind of weird how Google came up with one and then Microsoft came up with one too. Big internet companies are like, all right, we're going to try to crack this nut because honestly, this is a huge potential because if you just need a laptop and you just need to plug in a game controller, like that's a huge untapped market of people who are like, oh, I don't want to buy a console. I just want to play this one game, and just have an easy experience. And if they have a good enough internet,
have they announced any kind of pricing structure for this?
They haven't announced.
Obviously, this is free for This is free for people who get invites right now.
Yeah, they did. They haven't announced anything. The only thing they gave me was a they give you 10 Ubisoft points, which I use for an XP boost. I don't know.
That's what everyone says to buy on the internet because that's evil Ubisoft.
Ubisoft doing the bad.
They didn't put that in the news. There was like this. I mean, not in the people that I follow at least, but there was the people that I follow were responding to these like. I guess a lot of YouTubers were claiming that like Ubisoft is trying to destroy video game industry by making you buy the XP boost for the game to be good because the game is so grindy that you have to buy the XP boost. So it's
they said the same thing when what was that game called out? The Shadow of War, same thing. Had that same they did take that. Taking that stuff out, but it seemed a little more egregious because that was like loot box.
I think it is kind of lame to have this game be so bloated that an XP boost feels necessary.
It's kind of weird though.
It's also not like some evil plot.
No, I don't think it's evil. I think it's lame, but I also am like you could just not bother with it and just spend more time playing it.
It is interesting to me that the free thing that they want you to have a good review on, they gave you the $10 to buy the game, to buy the XP.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is like, it's very pointed because I know you can buy other stuff with those points, but that's like the one thing that's exactly that amount.
Permanent. Yeah, it is also exactly that amount.
And it's permanent. The other things are all temporary.
Yeah, it was kind of like
it's very interesting to me that that's the thing they decided to give out for free with their.
Well, also because you can. I mean, it's a pretty long beta test, so I mean, I'm probably gonna honestly try to play as much of this game as I can through here, because
good luck.
It lasts until I know. Even though it lasts until like the end of January. This is a pretty reasonable amount of time. Like it's 4 months.
Oh yeah, you could probably do that.
If I keep playing it, you could probably get through it the whole way. And I just honestly am just curious about how well the streaming stuff works. And because this is a beta, like it looks really good. Maybe I'll show you a little bit later, Carl, just to show you kind of how it operates. But it's
I'm guessing it's probably running it at max or close to max.
Pretty much on max settings. Yeah, it's weird because I think it's a PC version because you have the mouse.
That would make sense.
But
for sure,
obviously they edited it because you can't change the graphics setting at all. Like it just runs at like whatever top. Stuff it is.
I'm guessing whatever the top is, they'll just set it to that by default.
Yeah, and it doesn't run at 60 frames a second all the time, but it can get up to that speed or that frame rate. So it's like it
Is
does
that
dip.
is that the game running, or is that your stream
See, I don't
not
know.
not getting to 60?
I don't know. Who knows? It's no
That's
way
the
to tell.
question.
It's a
Did you
beta.
notice any input lag?
No,
like
none.
pretty
Well,
good than
then I guess the only other question I'd have besides all this technical stuff is, it seems like you've mostly just been testing it and haven't really dipped too much into the game. But of
Yeah.
the game that you've played, what do you think of it so far?
Man,
Yeah.
it's been a while since I played a big ass RPG open world game.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a slow start, man.
Not since The Witcher.
Not since The
3.
Witcher, which also has it's got a pretty good start comparatively to this. It's just like, you know, you start at the beginning, and then it's so jarring to have the they start off with you're doing the 300. You're literally in the section in 300 where they're like talking about like the Spartans or the Persians are gonna come and kill us all, and you're playing as King Leonidas, and you're just like being all cool and stuff, and then it's just like cut. Here's a spear, and then it's like cut modern day. This lady with spear, and I'm like, whoa, I forgot this Assassin's Creed is modern,
Yeah,
or like future stuff.
Images of Templars.
Templars and stuff, and they mention it for literally that scene is like 5 minutes. It lets you select your settings, and then it's like, all right, back to ancient Greece. Like, we're getting out of here as soon as we can. And you pick your character, and I pick Cassandra because I heard she's better, and also it's more of an interesting character to me than ugly, weird looking dude.
Ugly.
He's pretty weird looking.
You could just say he's just like it's a dude. He's just a generic dude. He's boring. I want to play his lady. You gotta call him ugly too.
He looks weird, dude. He's not a real person. It's fine.
I suppose.
Alexios is not like a great character.
He seems like whatever. He seems kind of like
the
boring.
lady seems like where it's at is what everyone's saying.
She seems cool.
Cassandra.
Cassandra. She's cool. The storyline is very much like you're in a small town. You gotta get your way out of here. Actually, I don't really. Here's the thing: is I play this game for maybe like 3 hours. I don't know what Cassandra's like main goal is. She just seems to be trying to get by. Like she doesn't have anything going on for her besides that. But man, there's a lot of systems on this game. A lot of systems starting to get layered on. I got some mercenaries after me that have levels that are like very basic Shadow War type things, where it's like, you can't attack this. Watch out, this mercenary comes to get you. You better leave because he's level 5 and you're level 1. It's like, all right.
Did you
It's
play?
but unlike Shadow of War, has like no personality to any of those mercenaries
Yeah,
from what I
exactly.
hear. It's
It's
just
super
like, this is a mercenary.
He's got a beard.
He's level 5.
Cool.
Did you play any of Origins?
I did
can't
not.
remember.
So
'Cause
that's
I was
what's
gonna say,
weird.
how is the new like combat system from what you've?
It's
Yeah.
all right. It's fine. It's it does the right bumper, left trigger, Dark Souls style, but I don't know if it deserves that because it's the combat is weightier, but not as weighty as like Dark Souls. So it's just kind of like. But didn't God of War do that as well? One of those war games.
Do what? What did God of War do?
Right bumper, left bumper, or right trigger to do attacks.
No, I'm honestly
it
forgetting.
X?
It's been a little too
That
long.
game didn't come
No,
out too long ago.
yeah, it's Dark Souls.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
God of War is
It's
Dark
like the
Souls.
new thing, I guess.
But I don't remember like it didn't come out that long ago. But I'm not remembering. I haven't played I've like held the controller.
that's
in my
fine, that's
hand.
fine.
It's all muscle memory.
Look,
Not,
man, it's fine.
but yeah, it is Dark Souls. It's right
Okay.
trigger and right bumper.
So that's like the new
attacks.
thing I guess they're doing, and yeah, I mean
Weird,
it's
that's
fine.
weird.
It's good. You got your power ups and stuff that you could do, and you could do like special moves. I haven't gotten any of that yet. They just show you a teaser when you're playing Leonidas. It's like, here's how you do the good, crazy combat stuff.
Here's
how
how
you
you
shield
do the
break.
kick.
Yeah,
that
here's how you do the
everybody
kick that
loves.
everyone loves that you
Literally
unlock like
every-
right away.
Everybody showing on Twitter
Yeah,
is just
um,
like, I kicked this guy off of the cliff. It's
Yeah.
like you would like literally
Whoa.
everybody.
Yeah, like
It's like the
It's
first
just
thing everybody does.
that kick is insane. It sends
It
you
throws you so
flying like
far.
horizontly backwards 20 feet.
I like it. I like it. It's fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a dumb, but it's just funny to think about how the Assassin's Creed series.
It's so different. Honestly, when I first got it, I'm like, oh man, Assassin's Creed, here I go. Start mashing X. It's like, nah, stop that. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Here's how you parry. You hit left bumper, right bumper at the same time. I'm like, that's the parry button? What? All right. I guess I'll get used to it. It just seems like they shook it up a lot, and I think
No,
they
I think
expect you to-
Origins probably did most of that.
honestly, Origins
what
did,
you're-
but they seem to assume you've already played that,
And it's like,
and it's like
Yeah.
I didn't.
With this combat.
So thanks for the heads up, but it's fine though. It's you're
Yeah.
learning enough, and the combat feels fine. It's not the most. It doesn't feel as fluid as like kind of even the old Assassin's Creed. I feel it's a little more clunky, a little more heavy, but you still lock
Well,
out
like
people.
again, the Assassin's Creed series very much became similar to the Batman like style
Yeah.
of combat. And it looks like a lot more third person like
tried to mix
action
it up.
games are kind of like shifting to that weightier, more deliberate style like Dark Souls, except for like games like
Spider-Man.
well, and like obviously there's still like the Bayonettas and now Devil
Yeah,
May Cry,
those I feel those are a different level though. Like that's
Yeah.
all combat, you know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like,
I'll be interested in this new Devil May Cry if it does adopt the kind of like I wouldn't say
I like it from the
I wouldn't say
trailers.
Batman.
There's
No, I
not
wouldn't
there's
say
not
so
many
good, but,
character
like,
action games that come out on a regular, so I feel like there's still enough room in that space to be like, this is just pure all about quick combat combo stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like dodging
I mean,
things at
Spider-Man's
the last second to get
Spider-Man's
like a
pretty
slowdown.
fast for being
It
the
is.
Batman style, quote unquote. It's not nearly as slow as Batman
No.
is. It requires you to be a lot faster, and it does have stuff like juggles, but obviously not with gun. You don't shoot them up in the air with your pistols,
Which is pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, so Assassin's Creed Odyssey, first impressions, good. It seems like I've gotten to it seems fine. I've gotten to the slow part, but I'm looking into it more. The
Don't worry, only
graphics are
15
good.
more, only 15 more hours to go until
know.
it picks up. That's what I
Graphics are
hear.
good, despite being streaming. Yeah, it's just the streaming stuff is what's really impressive. Is I was genuinely impressed because the last time I tried it was on live, and it's just like, oh yeah, technology's moved on a bit since then. So that's all I got.
Well, speaking of Spider-Man, I finished that up finally.
Yeah,
Okay.
I won't like spoil anything, but
I was
that-
gonna say I
that
want to
game's-
talk to you about that game.
Yeah,
in
we
depth.
should do a spoiler cast.
Carnage.
Amber,
Shows up.
We gotta set up a little recording. It's time.
I can't say anything, Ricardo. I can't tell you that. Can't tell you that, Otis.
What did you think,
I thought it was really good. I liked the story. I think the character work is some of the best in a superhero game ever. And also there's some real missed opportunities that I wish they did better with. But I think that the main characters and specifically the people around Peter Parker
It's
are
close
all
friends.
handled
Yeah.
really well. Yeah, like Aunt May, Mary Jane, Miles Morales does show up. That's not really a spoiler to say because
Yeah,
he's been in
Dr.
trailers.
Octavius.
Dr. Octavius. Those characters are all handled like phenomenally, and the acting in them is great. The writing for them is great. The thread lines that those characters, the storylines that those characters go through, are great. So I think those are all really well done. I think some of the other characters, some of the other villains, kind of fall flat a little
just
bit.
kinda
or-
like
Are you
there.
saying
They're just kinda- they're just
are you
kinda
saying There's no
there.
nuance to the Rhino. What are you saying?
It's not even that there's no nuance. They
It's
just like
nothing. They don't do anything
he's
with him. He's just
he's
there.
almost he's not underutilized is the word I would say. Like, you know what I mean? Like
He's set to
they're in it, but they
he's
don't.
I feel like
they
they're
don't
there
look-
for gameplay, not at all for like story.
Yeah, and it's not like that every single one of them needs to have like a big character arc that you go through, but like they just kind of feel like they like show up and they're in your way, and then you go through like
They're
3 or
like-
4 missions to take care of them, and they take care of them, and they're done. And it's like that's
they're like stage bosses. They're like mini bosses
yeah,
or something.
yeah. They feel like at the like near the beginning of the near the like beginning of the first like the like the middle of the first third of the game, you fight a named like an existing named villain as part of the plot, and I kind of thought that's how the game was going to go, of kind of Arkham Asylum-esque, I guess you would say, of like the story is going to progress and like named villains are going to
They're
kind
gonna
of be
like the big
involved,
feature,
really?
and that's actually not how the
act.
game takes its plot, really, to be honest.
Which is not bad.
It's not like it has to. It definitely doesn't feel that way, but like I also feel like it doesn't do much with the
It's like
with
why are
the
they
dri-
even there?
with the
at the end?
driving characters that are driving the plot again, except for I think the crew around Peter Parker, which are not necessarily the ones driving the plot forward. They're just like more responding to what's happening around them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like I think the game is still really good. I think that the gameplay is really fun. I've enjoyed like I did almost all the side stuff. I might go back and wrap up the stuff. I'm interested in the DLC. It's got Black Cat, and it's like a prequel before the game takes place. And I really like the state of the world that the game is left in, like what that the possibilities for future games. I think that there's some really cool I guess you could call them sequel teases. They're not really like there's no like cliffhanger.
No, but it's like,
after
ooh, where can they go
post-credits.
next?
But yeah, there is just kind of like there's a lot of cool directions that you could go now. and the kind of state the characters are in is really neat. Of like, man, I didn't think they would do that with that character, but they did.
That's the thing
like,
is they did. I
so-
felt like one of the coolest things about that game is they know you've seen Spider-Man a lot, and there's even like that. You see that subway thing where he's like, he's doing on the subway trying to stop it. Did you see that?
Wait. I don't remember that.
Okay.
Is that isn't that from the Spider-Verse movie?
No.
The Spider-Verse trailer, he does the subway thing.
But
Oh wait,
it's in
wait,
both.
yes. Okay, I've got them blurred together now.
Yeah.
They definitely. I was like,
They do a lot of nods to things, and I'm like, that's really cool.
They
like,
do, like in any Spider-Man thing, there's always him doing the subway thing, and there's always him like with something heavy on him.
Yeah.
And he like lifts it up. That's like literally every Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and they
I
play with that, and they play with that in good ways in this game, and I liked all those moments where it subverts your expectations.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that like there was some missed opportunities with the Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery, but I think that stuff could be solved with a sequel.
Yeah, and they left room with that
No
since they didn't dive into them too much.
No Craven. Wait, was
The
Craven
what?
in the game?
No Craven.
I can't. I mean, don't spoil stuff, man. Yeah, it's fine. Nah, it's fine.
More like don't get your hopes up.
Surprising, which some of the villains that were in it, I'd never heard of. Is it Tombstone? Tombstone, right? That's his name. I'd never heard of him.
No, that's Hammerhead.
He's got like infinitely hard skin. Yeah, like he's like impossible to
It's
kill
just
with
Luke
Cage.
Cage.
Then there is a fairly new villain. It's like a 2015 edition of the comics or something like that. Who is like a Twitch YouTube streamer. Did you do that side quest, Ethan?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
I didn't like that side quest, but
I just thought it was.
it was all right. It was fine.
Yeah. I mean, the side quest itself is
The side quests are all like fine.
go here, do a thing,
Do you
and then
think
fight some guys.
Do you
Most
think
likely.
if they did the Arkham games like today, that the Riddler would be like a Twitch streamer? Do you think that he would?
He almost gets to that point in
Kinda, yeah.
the Arkham ones as it is. Not quite, but like,
In the last Arkham, kind of, yeah.
yeah, I think he is like recording you or something like that, right?
Yeah, probably something. Yeah, I could see him reimagined very easily into that.
Would you cheer? Would you sub to the Riddler's
It
Twitch channel?
depends on his emote.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's his
What's his
emo?
emote? Is it just a question mark? That's
Just a
boring, man.
bunch
You
of
gotta
question
move up.
marks.
You gotta draw your face with a question mark and go, whoa, you get that
Whoa.
YouTube thumbnail.
There's like
Yeah, his YouTube thumbnail
there's
was like, "Who is Batman?"
it's like the Jim Carrey on the Batman Forever
Yeah.
cover.
yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Well,
good. I want to talk to you more about this game.
Yeah,
in
I'd
depth,
love to talk to you
'cause
in
there's definitely
detail
some
because
stuff.
I'm there's definitely some stuff. Yeah,
I might. Play
yeah.
it
Actually, I
eventually.
mean, now that I'm like, I was like, I'll talk about it, I guess. And now I'm like, actually, I really
There's a
wanna get
lot.
into
There's a lot of like little things I want to talk about. Like even though it's
yeah.
not like that crazy or in depth of a story, it's like I want to talk about
I
It's
might
really well done for
play
it
it
is.
eventually. The problem is there are so many like. There's that game. There's now Assassin's Creed. Then there's Red Dead. There's like all these open.
I will
world
say
games.
Spider-Man is
Spider-Man
very-
I've heard is shorter.
very
right?
easy
It's-
to like. Yeah, it's like the opposite of.
If you want to mainline it, it's not that long.
Even if you do the side quests, they're not that long.
I genuinely enjoy doing the side stuff, and
And there's not much of them though. Like there is, it fills the screen, but they all take like what, maybe less than like 30 seconds to do. Some other ones like the backpacks
it depends
are-
on which ones you run into. Yeah, but yeah.
like it's a pretty reasonable game. I think even on what that site that tracks games completion, I think it only said like 36 hours to do everything.
Okay.
Like complete the game 100%.
Yeah.
Like that's reasonable. I like that.
I think I probably played like 20 something hours of it right now, and it's like almost. We're like
Yeah.
almost there. Like we have some like last minute some of the last crimes to do, and then some of the last like
crimes are
faces.
stupid. It's like why do you have
Yeah.
to wait for these crimes to happen? It's kind of a dumb thing to.
New York goes
on.
through a lot of shit.
sure
Night
does.
Crimes already.
I figured New York goes through so much in all the Marvel like universe.
Yeah,
like, it's just I
like
wouldn't want to live there at all. Like that'd be the
actively
worst
on
place.
fire.
The thing is it's like need something to be recognizable. Put it in New York.
I know.
But,
How come there's no one
yeah.
in California and like Marvel?
There's like the West Coast
Teen Titans.
Avengers.
Oh wait, no.
Is there?
Yeah, there's West Coast Avengers, but they're always kind of like the jokey.
I like how
thing.
the I
It's
like how the
all
Avengers.
C-list
Chill,
characters.
just smoking pot, hanging out.
I like how the Avengers can't get to the West Coast apparently. Like the super
No.
futuristic
Quinjet
technology
doesn't
from
go
the
that
start.
fast.
It's just like we need a West Coast Avengers because we just can't get jurisdiction out there.
Yeah.
Oh, also just makes
Um,
it easier, you expand the brand. You gotta like move out the
Yeah,
headquarters. You
true.
bring some jobs there.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say is, one last thing I'll say is that game has a annoyingly uncritical look at certain elements of like society. The police thing has been brought up before. Like I think we mentioned that a couple podcasts ago. That was like someone wrote an article about that. But also, I'll just say like Norman Osborn as mayor, like does not get like. I don't know. It does not get the critical treatment that I feel like he like probably deserves to get in that game. Like he's not necessarily a good guy, and the game doesn't portray him as a good guy. But
also, it doesn't portray him as a bad guy, really. Either.
It doesn't really portray him as a very bad person, and he
kind of is bad.
Very much a bad person.
I was gonna say it doesn't. So does that mean there's a specific character who's not in the game?
I can't tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you though. That is a very weird thing where it's like this guy owns everything. Isn't it weird how like Oscorp
he owns everything and is the mayor and like decides companies are doing
this whole thing is set up with Oscorp security system.
No one questions it. Like no one.
Not even anybody on fake Twitter does.
There's like a couple like people who are like that's kind of weird, isn't it?
And ironically, J. Jonah Jameson is upset about it. Like
I know.
Jameson's right about a worrying number of things in the Spider-Man universe. Like in
you've heard how he's actually
the guy is supposed to be the Alex Jones.
I was gonna say you've heard he's less like Alex Jones and actually more like Bill O'Reilly, where he's like where he's not like as insane and can be right once in a while. It's like okay.
I don't know. I want to call Bill O'Reilly white once in a while, but I get what you're trying to say. I think what you're trying to say like he's analyzed what our problems.
He's a former journalist, you know.
But his solutions are
his solutions are not great, but you know,
are the problem. But he's sometimes correct on his like analysis of what is going on.
Yeah, exactly.
But not necessarily about like
why.
I think that's giving Bill O'Reilly a lot of credit there, though. So even that
compared to Alex Jones, though,
yes, maybe. Anyway, the conspiracy theories just wrapped in a tastier blanket for
more easy to digest conspiracies, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Spider-Man. Maybe we'll do a spoiler cast.
We should. I want to do it. I want to do it as soon as we can.
Spider-Man.
Before the thoughts leave my mind and are filled with odysseys. All right.
Well, that brings us out of the games and into the news,
which are not about games. No.
Out of the games that we've been playing specifically. And into the games that you could be playing in the future, possibly, if we hire some people and maybe if they want to work, and then will they still work for us after that? We don't know. We're going to maybe release the game out on... Ricardo, what's going on?
We got someone in chat.
I'm sorry. First of all, actually, I want to acknowledge this. Spider-Man Web of Shadows is actually very fun. I believe that's the Beanox developed one that has... Oh wait, no, this is not
I've heard
it.
That
Never mind.
Good.
This is
Treyarch.
This is the one that has like the weird morality system where symbiotes like are kind of taking over. I think Shattered Dimensions is a solid Spider-Man game, but
Shattered Dimensions is the one where you play as the future, the noir, and like
future,
the current
29.9,
right?
amazing, Ultimate and the noir one. So
yes,
Ultimate Spider-Man has the symbiote suit in that game. Anyway, Web of Shadows not as high on that one, but of course,
to each their own.
So basically, this Skybound Entertainment, which is Robert Kirkman's studio, that obviously Robert Kirkman, owner and writer of the Walking Dead franchise, essentially, they came to a deal with some other studio, apparently, that they are going to finish the final season of The Walking Dead, but they haven't actually announced
anything else.
What the studio is or when that is going to be. So
is the same developer is going to come back and finish the story.
I don't know.
Who knows?
They just said literally the tweet from Skybound Games is, well, now Ethan scrolled past it. We're so happy to announce that we've reached a deal with at Telltale Games that will allow Skybound to continue The Walking Dead the final season. Let's wrap up Clem's story right. More details to come.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this is met with the amount of skepticism that it deserves from a lot of people of like, Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, because as of
like,
now,
how's that gonna work at all? Like,
as of right now, it suggests that Skybound has never actually had their own internal in-house.
yeah, I think they've done
developers,
some mobile stuff.
they're-
that's
They've
what
done
I've
a lot of
heard.
publishing, and they are doing that
Road to
Walking Dead Road to Survive, which is interesting.
That's that iOS game.
Yeah, that mobile
Yeah.
game. But they also have I didn't realize this. They published The Long Dark and Slime Rancher.
They did.
I didn't realize that. They did not make it though. Like I believe
Yeah,
those are published.
No, those are made by independent studios.
So again, not much now. Just another
I
development
think they've
in the
mentioned
ongoing saga here.
I think they've mentioned that if it's not even in this tweet, they did mention that they want to hire people from Telltale who are working on the game. But again, that just raises more questions of like, well, if you do that, is that a permanent job? Is that just a
Or
job
is it
to
just
finish
until
this, and then they're gonna get
yeah.
laid off? And they're gonna get laid off again? Like, you
Yeah.
guys don't make games? Are you gonna like start a whole game studio now, or are you just gonna do this as contract? And it's like people from Telltale have been already out of a job for like a month, or like 2-3 weeks now. Right? They're not gonna like. What if they already have jobs like
Yeah,
who is
the
gonna make
idea of
anything? Like it's
it
just
being like a contract job?
It's not appealing at all.
does not sound appealing. It's like, hey, you want a job for 6 months? It's like, I guess if you really
If
can't
you really
find
need
something.
something, you know, if you can also search for another job during that time too, which at least is nice, I guess. but,
Also,
like,
I
guess,
understand.
but it's-
I understand the tweet in question is angled at obviously fans of the game who are concerned about the narrative finishing or not. But I still do find it weird that it's like a lot that this is painting it as like the most important thing to you guys is that the
Yeah.
game's gonna be done. It's like, well, a lot of bad
Not-
shit happened around the
Yeah.
surrounding, which meant that that game could not be finished.
Yep.
And I think that's more of a concern right now
and like
than
yeah,
anything else.
and all the people that lost lost jobs in the Bay in the San Francisco area,
Mhm.
just not favorable to places that you don't where you don't have money.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this the story goes on to summarize the events of what happened, including that the an employee laid off in Telltale's dissolution filed a lawsuit alleging the studio violated state and federal laws requiring notices of mass layoffs at companies
Yes.
of a certain size. So just a continuing ugly saga there.
Yes.
I'm sure again when more details drop as to how they're actually planning on finishing this game, we'll have another story to talk about. But
Sure.
continuing
Keep
saga.
keep that news cycle running. Sony has confirmed they're going to be working on another PlayStation, and I am shocked. Shocked, I tell you.
Yeah.
Dare they?
I mean,
What's more shocking, they'll probably name it PlayStation 5.
well, see, that's the
That's
thing. Like, and
insane.
I guess there's I feel like there's a kind of a narrative like disbelief here because they're talking about like the comments not really pointing to whether the next piece of hardware would be a PlayStation 5 or what it would be, but basically Kenichiro Yoshida, Sony's president and CEO, this is Polygon reporting, said in an interview with the Financial Times, at this point what I can say is it's necessary to have a next generation hardware. Yoshida did not name the console, so there's no information yet on whether it will be officially called the PlayStation 5.
Vita
There's
2.
also no word on a release window.
Vita 2.
Uh,
We need to redo
John
the Vita.
Cadera goes on to say, we will use the next 3 years to prepare the next step to crouch down so that we can jump higher in the future. That's a weird analogy there.
Shuriken.
We're just getting real down low. We're getting into a nice power
Getting-
squat here.
It's like we jump real high.
It's going to be like one of those like
It's gonna be like Spider-Man
It's gonna
launching
be
off
like-
the ground with his charge jump when he does that.
or like one of those little like, you know, when you used to walk by the KB Toys out front, they always had like the little
Oh, yeah.
puppies, like the little puppies and stuff.
Oh yeah, and they would
Like,
kind
and
of
they
like
would go like, "Rip, rip, rip," and then they go, zzz, and then
Yeah,
they
they'll
bend
flip
down and then
backwards.
they flip up if they do a full flip.
yeah,
That's what they're
them.
doing right now.
Wait,
They're
till
getting
wait until you
down.
see the flip that they're gonna do.
Yeah,
right now they were
Mobile
going,
gaming only.
PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I think this is like this is not as big of a news story as it really
No.
It isn't.
because this is just them saying, yeah, we're gonna. It's not gonna be any soon. This is still at least a year away, if not more.
I just think my biggest thing, and I think what a lot of people's might be, is that just when we're talking about a next generation hardware, like the number one thing that has for the past X amount of generations been like at the forefront is like graphically, what is that gonna look like? Like, what is the next generation gonna look like? And I can't, like, I'm gonna sound like an idiot saying this, but like I can't imagine games looking that much better.
Well, I guess like
they can't get better.
I mean, I understand that they can probably look better, but for me, I'm thinking like, what kind of like? There's only gonna be like 3 studios that can afford to make games that look way better than they do now.
I think looking better is like it's gonna be stuff like the
AI
like,
and
like VR, like VR, yeah,
sure.
better CPU power, like stuff like AI and stuff like the like the NVIDIA cards, and we can all laugh at the whole ray tracing thing, right? But like the idea being that like it's less about the raw power of these polygons look as like these textures and polygons are as detailed as you can possibly get them, and more of like, well, now you can compute more things that you don't have to fake anymore, so
That's
that
true.
it would just you'd be able to spend more time on other stuff theoretically. I don't know.
Well,
Stuff
also,
like
it's
that,
easy. You don't have to optimize games as well. You could just be like, oh, I got this little game.
Yeah.
It just makes it easier to
But
not.
I think streaming is, which the article itself talks about a little bit further down, that streaming is like just as being a streaming platform is just as likely, if not more, with Switch already experimenting with that in Japan, with I think Assassin's Creed and
Resident Evil 5 was it, or 7?
Resident 7. Yeah, you can stream those in Japan somehow, and then also in Google is doing their thing. Was it
Microsoft
Xbox, which was our next news story, or our last one, I think, announcing that they are doing a streaming service as well. So I think that Sony would be very like, I think that they obviously have that as a possibility, especially if the console's still like 2-3 years away. That's plenty of time for them to integrate that into a a bigger, more main part of the console.
And I see it also becoming just another, like, more time to innovate and make it so that, like, because as of right now on your PlayStation 4, you can, obviously stream games via the PlayStation Now. You can stream, all different types of media via pretty much every single media outlet, from Hulu to Netflix to WWE Network. It has its own like integration with movies and stuff like that. Obviously, you can stream from your PlayStation 4, and it's just, I think maybe even just adding on to that and building out like its own internal software into turning it more and more like this is essentially like doing most of the functionality of a PC at some point. Like this becomes like your almost like your personal computer.
Offloading it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the Xbox One was originally supposed to be, right? Like, it was supposed to be the one thing you use. You just use that. You just do everything through
Hence the name.
Hence the name. But I think Microsoft maybe stepped too far ahead when it wasn't ready, and that it kind of is interesting because if you think about it, how PlayStation started with streaming first, and now they're doing downloading because they're like, oh, well, lots of people want downloading because our streaming is not up to par. Well, Microsoft is like, oh, well, you're going to download on our subscription service. You're going to download the game, and now we're going to introduce this streaming. It's kind of like I think they learned their lesson of like, oh, we went too far ahead. The technology wasn't there. Why don't we do what we know will work, downloading? And then maybe we'll get to that next section of streaming. Because remember, like, the dream of streaming was like, you'd be able to put your disc in, and while it's downloading and installing, you could play like the stream version of the game. And then when your download's done or your game's done installing, then it would swap over and seamlessly like switch through, or maybe it'd be like a quick thing of like, okay, load the game now, or and it would swap your thing over seamlessly. Yeah, that's like the dream of what's gonna probably happen next. I mean, I can't imagine. I think that's what's gonna happen on the next console.
Or if you just don't have. Like, I think the rumor is that the Microsoft is working on a 2-factor of like the cheap box that has no power, or like relatively no power, but you can just stream stuff straight to that, or the bigger, more expensive box that has the power in it, and would theoretically be able to handle the install, so that if you wanted to get the cheaper equipment, then you could stream things to it. If you want to get more powerful equipment, you can. So Sony could do something like that as well. Like, there's lots of possibilities. I feel like even though that Ricardo, I do agree with you that like games looking better and better, and we're definitely. I wouldn't say we're necessarily reaching the limit, but I think that we are we're plateauing. Like we're not. It's not exponentially up the way it used to be. It is diminishing returns. But I feel like there's more things besides just raw graphics that we can see in
people were saying that when they showed Cyberpunk off, they're like, oh yeah, man, like this is a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
you know, there's
like,
definitely
this
still
can't
room.
Be well, yeah, well, and a lot of people initially were like, this can't be for what like current.
They say it is,
but yeah,
they say it is. I'm sure the graphics won't be as good on current consoles. They're probably showing the PC version, but and that'll be a whole gate. But yeah, the future's interesting. Seeing where game's gonna go now, and I think they're seeing a whole bunch of people that are not with the streaming thing. You know, I think even Google's seeing like a whole bunch of people that are like not tapped into the network. You know, that they could easily just grab when a couple games might be interested. How do I get that game? Oh man, I have to buy a PlayStation to play that. All right, I guess I'll not get it and maybe wait for it, when it comes later, because I don't want to spend $300 on a PlayStation.
Totally.
I mean, PlayStation now is available on PC, right?
That's true, but I don't think they advertise it very well, And
They
you have to
don't,
download
like,
a program. I think here's the thing.
That's the
it's
thing
like,
you already have a Google account.
Yeah,
like you are
most people
already
do,
plugged in there.
Yeah.
So
you just
like if you
click a button.
if you have an option to stream a game by going through this service of PlayStation Now or Google, which already has all your stuff,
you already have
and
Chrome,
your information,
probably.
you literally probably already have a way to pay for it right in there, and you just say go, then that's
it's just easier, Some people don't want to mess with everything.
Literally, whenever any sort of website or anything gives me the option to log in with Google, I say, do it.
Give me that. Give them that
Do
information.
it. I don't care.
No, because that's the thing is, I was at work and I looked and I was like, man, I don't have anything to do right now. I could just start up like I could just do that, I obviously won't because it's
dangerous.
No, I'm not gonna do that obviously. But I the thought crossed my mind. I'm like, all I gotta do is open up a Chrome tab.
All you gotta do. It's just so easy.
Do it and then just be at work, just hanging off one of those statues, dicks.
Penis.
And then somebody walks in. Ethan, no,
what's up? Fall off the dick.
Oh god.
The other thing we didn't mention too is that like Microsoft is in talks. The rumor is that Microsoft in talks to buy Obsidian. That's not in our news as well. But now I'm introducing it into the news.
What is this story?
Oh yeah,
Microsoft is rumored to buying Obsidian.
Kotaku's Jason Schreier reported that there's talks heavily imply that Microsoft's going to buy Obsidian.
Oh,
and they're going to instead of bolster their
PC development.
Yeah, they're going to bolster their PC development instead of like putting out, because right now, like you go on Xbox Game Pass,
and it's like you get like 3 games of the PC version of Game Pass.
Yeah,
a little bit more than that, but it's still not nearly as many as the
the Xbox One has it's like almost all things, but you go on there and it's like there's probably 10 games you could play on the PC version, which is not much compared to like
not very many.
The 80, 90 you can get on Xbox.
So would you say that? So would you say that this attempted purchase of Obsidian would be to be an in-house developer at all?
Probably.
I think so. Yeah, like how they announced at E3 that they're buying developers. I can't remember.
It was the We Happy Few developer. I think the Forza guys. I guess they weren't.
Forza, the team that makes Forza. They bought them. I can't remember. There's a couple other ones.
Oh, the people who made State of Decay. They were bought too.
Yes, that's right.
So it's kind of like people who are already like good friends with them.
Yeah,
and but like
they're buddies, they're pals.
They're pals. Anyone who uses Play Anywhere and puts that in their service, they're good friends with Xbox.
Oh yeah, if you're on Game Pass like State of Decay was, then
yeah, if you're an exclusive, then you're definitely.
Microsoft published that and Forza, I think too. So that kind of makes sense.
Those are both published by them. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
That's so like that kind of like factors into like, will Sony try to move into a PC area? Because I mean, like I think that's honestly really like I think Xbox has really not been the winning console this generation, you can say, but I would say that like Microsoft is definitely like speaking of crouching down ready for it. They've been prepping way better than Sony has, at least visibly.
They're
right,
sitting on the ground. That's how far.
That's such a weird
They've crouched down so far. They dug a little hole. They're like
that hole's gonna spring back up, and they're gonna shoot.
Yeah, they're building the trampoline right now. Is what they're doing.
I mean, it's just weird because I've almost slightly like as much as I play my PlayStation, I've kind of invested more in the Xbox ecosystem. I got
right. I think that's what
because I got like the little dongle thing to plug in all my Xbox controllers. I've been buying up Xbox One controllers. I think they're really nice, and the whole USB.
Nice.
You just plug them in your computer. It's just like a nice companion. They don't care. They're
like
just
your friend, your buddy, your pal.
My pal.
Good friend.
So now I have a whole bunch of Xbox controllers. So I could, whenever that killer Xbox game comes out.
Oh, Killer Instinct.
Yeah,
Killer Instinct. Dark.
Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark -1.
3.
Perfect Dark 1.
We're going backwards.
Hey, Coach. Bitterly disappointed. Sub 500 season. What are you guys gonna do in the off season to make sure? Well, see, this season was just us, crouching down. Right now, we're just crouching down and we're ready to jump up. Coach,
Ricardo,
you're an idiot.
All right. Well, we got a little off track there, but the last.
I was gonna say, let's just talk about Xbox's streaming service right now, since we're already there, kind of. This is Polygon again reporting Xbox One games are heading up to the cloud.
Up to the cloud, like Crackdown.
Yeah.
Crackdown.
Too soon.
They were crouching and then they sprung up into the cloud.
They sprung up into the cloud, grabbed that orb, and jumped back down.
Found
Terror Crews up there.
The agility
Terror Crews
orb.
is like, when am I coming down from the cloud?
And
Get me
it's like
down.
agents. Let's see. So starting in 2019, there's going to be a
global game streaming technology.
Right now titled Project xCloud, which will allow users to play their console and Windows PC games on mobile devices and more. So, So you're
hooking up an Xbox because they have like this attachment that like sticks onto the Xbox controller and holds the
I've
phone.
seen
and
those
shows
before.
Your phone. I mean, yeah, they've had other things like that, and in the past.
Test runs on this is a company blog post. The test runs on devices paired with an Xbox wireless controller through Bluetooth, and is also playable using touch input. The immersive nature of console and PC games often requires controls that are mapped to multiple keys, buttons, sticks, and triggers. We are developing a new game-specific touch input overlay that provides maximum response in a minimal footprint for players.
I might be getting this mixed up with Steam, but I think the Xbox console, you can like remap all the buttons if you need to. Kind of like I think that came with the accessibility stuff.
I was gonna say, I
think PlayStation might even have that as well.
I think there is because I remember watching an Epic Name Bro playthrough of Bloodborne from a little bit back, and he actually there was it was like it dropped halfway through his playthrough, but like PlayStation, I guess you can from the dashboard like remap buttons to be specific, because I think he wanted X and circle to be reversed. But the problem with that is it just doesn't change any of the prompts in game, obviously.
Right.
So like
it just maps the buttons
press X to do this, he's really got to be pressing circles. So you have to retrain your brain to sort of do that. So.
That could be interesting. It could be interesting how it works. I'm interested
to see how the touch. Like, I didn't know about the touch control part. That part's going to be a little bit weird. Like on a complicated game that has.
Every game is now a DS game.
Ugh, every game is Overlord Minions.
The one true video game. Finally. Yeah, all the points lead to this.
All points lead to Overlord Minions.
Here it is, and it's just a picture of stench.
Yeah, what's interesting that differentiates this from Google is that Google is just doing Chrome browser for now. I mean, they haven't announced much.
I'm sure they will be planning for mobile.
Sure, they're planning for mobile, like a quick app you download. But it sounds like Microsoft specifically targeting that because they're like, well, we have computers already and Xboxes. Let's just mop those other phones up.
I bet if anything, this is like timed to be partially because the Google announcement came out, somewhat recently, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I was gonna say, I don't know if iPhones do this, but the new Xbox controllers, the Bluetooth ones, like really easily pair with Android now. Like you just hit the pair button and you just go to Bluetooth and it's just instantly paired.
If they're Bluetooth, they should pair pretty easily with the phone. The question is, will they just like map automatically to?
I think it depends on a game per game basis.
I don't think that will be the case because I think what's it called? X input? That's Microsoft thing, right?
No, I think that's the PlayStation one.
X input is it PlayStation?
Could be wrong. No, I'm thinking of DS4 controller or something weird like that. X input, is I think Microsoft.
The framework the framework that the controller uses to interface with the computer, Apple doesn't support. So that's this is me like trying to remember an article from a while ago. So like it will, I'm sure, pair because it's Bluetooth, so it will connect to the phone. But I don't think it will do anything because Apple doesn't use that Microsoft input framework. They have their own. I think it might even be like an open source like shell that they've used. I honestly can't remember.
Okay, I was just curious because I mean I'm sure.
But I think I recall that coming up because the controllers that they sell at Apple stores and stuff like that are just Bluetooth, but they're not using like if you paired them to your computer, it wouldn't
work.
It wouldn't. It would work. I think they would still work.
You could probably find like a driver.
A PC could interface with it, but it wouldn't be like a remap to the Xbox controls the way.
Right.
You connect your Xbox controller and all the buttons just like pop up and just show up the right way.
Simple.
Like I don't think it would do that necessarily.
Yeah.
So
okay, I was just curious because I found out it was very easy to plug it in.
Yeah.
My phone was like, neat, I'll play an emulator, and then I was like, all right, well I'm done. I'm not gonna do this anymore.
yeah. I think that would require some work.
It's one of those things where I'm just like, I can do that. I gotta see it. Okay, I'm not gonna use this anymore.
Like I put Pokemon on my calculator.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to.
I don't ever want to play it on there, but it's neat. The idea is neat. So, yeah, man, streaming wars heating up.
And the last story, it doesn't even really story. It said, "Hey, the PlayStation name change."
They put a date,
but they're announcing it. Yeah, this is like official.
And they announced more stuff. Like they announced the price. They announced like how much it'll cost. Look, PlayStation owners, you might get to change your IDs finally, but only certain games will actually be able to use it. This feature is compatible with PS4 games originally published after April 1st, 2018. Which is
wow.
Which is not many.
So that's not even like Overwatch.
That's like that's like God of War. You know that great multiplayer game.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So this is like clearly a thing.
I feel like Monster Hunter was even before
No, Monster
that.
Hunter. I couldn't even change Monster Hunter. Yeah.
I wonder if because like a lot of the rumors that were like about this were saying like that that like developers were being given like documentation about how to have this name change stuff work. I wonder if this will be a thing where it's like this will only automatically work on games that were released after April, but if the dev wants to go in and patch their game, it will then work with that game as well.
Well, they have a great note
theoretically mean that. So
that says, however, it will work in a majority of PlayStation 4 games released before this date. But that's what it says. It also will work in a majority before April 1st.
So, so it's just on every game.
But however, please note, not all games and applications for PS4, PS3, and PS Vita systems are guaranteed to support the online ID change. The users may occasionally encounter issues or errors in certain games. If for any reason you experience issues after changing your ID, you can revert back to original ID for free at any time. But you're only able to do it once in the preview program. Reverting back to an old ID will resolve most issues caused by ID change. In addition, when this feature officially launches, a list of compatible games published for April 1st will be provided on PlayStation.com. So I'm sure like Monster Hunter, since that's new enough, Capcom will probably make the changes. You know, I'm sure it's gonna be fine for most games. It's just like the older ones, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird for that.
Yeah. So it says you can do it once for free. And then after that, subsequent name changes will cost $9.99 USD.
Yeah. Or if you're a PlayStation Plus member, $5.
$5.
So finally,
you change? No, you're the same name on everything. So I was gonna say.
I mean, my name's already fine, so I made that much later.
Is your name your rebrand? What is your?
Yeah. It's my rebrand.
Well, because you had an older name before.
It's your rebrand.
Because then you changed your name, you changed everything.
It's the new brand.
Okay, it's the new brand.
Yeah,
good.
It's my second gimmick. You know, it's my baby face gimmick.
It's. Were you heel before?
Yes.
I didn't realize
Imperious Rix was very severely heel. Yeah.
And now, of course, totally, definitely not.
Well, I'm like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm like against authority, but
So you're chaotic
people,
good.
But the
You're
people love
you're
me.
You're chaotic good.
Yes, exactly. Chaotic. Yeah.
And you like IPAs.
Yeah.
And
Broken
Smash
Skull
Uh,
Ranch.
Yeah. So, this is like one of those things that I think a lot of people in the gaming press talk a lot about, but I'm not sure like how important this really is to a lot of people.
I'm sure
like
it's important to a lot of people.
it's like, yeah, it's important, I'm sure, but it's just kind of like,
It's
okay,
one of the things that people love to talk about as like a thing that they should have, and then it's like it's probably going to affect so very few of those people.
Yeah. It's just kind of one of those weird things that they probably should have had a while ago, but the only reason they didn't is because
software.
they must have made it some weird way, and now
And they're like, we're
some-
not dealing
and now
with that.
engineers for the last 6 months have been like tearing their hair out over like the demands to fix this. I'm
They're
just
just
like,
trying to figure out-
Why they're
and
like,
they're
who
talking-
built this like
Someone
this?
is like, it has to change, and then they're like, we can't do that way, sir. It's like, okay, well, what if we do this? Maybe, but
Yeah.
we can't guarantee anything past April 1st will work.
well, that's also probably why they're like, we need to give
Got
we
all
need
these
to give a
different-
date. Like we have to give a
Yeah.
date range. And they're
Yeah.
like,
well, also to like new games,
quarter-
like you
if it's
require it for
first
developers.
Early 2019. What does that mean? It could be like March.
We'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Could be March. Could be April. I mean, May's still kind of early.
Could be April 1st,
Yeah.
2019. No,
That makes sense. Could be a year.
I cracked it. You heard it here first. You'll be able to change
Detective
your
Ricardo,
name. April
Private
1st.
Eye.
Yeah, private eye. All right, so that's all the news for this week, which means it's time for trailer trash.
Trailer trash, dang old team for PlayStation named Tomato 69. Get her done.
Nice. All right, trailer trash. It's every week we watch a bunch of game trailers and then we talk about them for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then we decide which one is the winner for the week for trailer trash, the
Yeah.
segment that we do every podcast.
Every week.
Every week. We talk about trailers. And we
And
decide
then
which was the best.
This is the best.
Every
we talk
week.
about it
Every week.
Okay.
every week.
Look,
All right,
it's just
guys.
it's Ringu.
We're watching the Ringu trailer.
Ring
Those on
this
Oh, no.
week.
It's
we-
even more. It's even worse. It's Ubisoft. No, I'm joking.
stream. Look,
This week we watched 9 trailers.
there's a lot.
One of them is for a mobile game made by Ubisoft.
Chibi Assassins.
Chibi Assassins. I like the way this game looks, to be honest.
Yeah, it actually has a decent. They look like what are those? Those Nendoroids or whatever.
Yeah, they
those
kinda do.
those little toys.
I kind of
are.
like them. I like the way they're animated. Like, they're cute. But this is just a mobile game that probably has a bunch of counters.
Yeah.
This is
hard
a
to
game to
tell.
make to pay the
Looks like
bills.
it looks like a cross between Fallout Shelter and then like there's like a platforming side-scrolling segment where you gotta stab dudes.
Yeah, or it's like turn based. Maybe I don't know. It looks a little.
Yeah, it's a
turn-based.
little hard to say what you're actually doing in that part, but
Coming
it
to
certainly
your
is
mobile.
it certainly is an Assassin's Creed mobile
You
game.
can pre-order,
They just show you- I think
pre-register
they
right
show you,
now on
like,
Google
all-
Play.
Oh, you get special rewards,
And
just
you
like
get-
currency, treasure chests, all that good stuff. You know,
Yeah.
all those things you need.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're gonna need them.
This is an alright trailer, honestly. It put that on my radar, and I was like, okay, maybe that game will be alright. I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah,
but,
again,
like
the art style is not bad.
If it's I don't know what it will cost, but if it's free, that might be a fair.
it's one of those things where I will keep an eye out and see the temperature, if it makes any waves or anything, or if
The
it's like, this
temperature.
game kind of sucks, like that Harry Potter game. Remember, everyone was like, oh, that might be cool.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
the
and then it came out.
Hogwarts
It came out, and
mystery or
everyone was
whatever.
like,
It's not good. Don't get it. It's almost like a swindle.
Which
Good-
this
good
game,
segue.
This game, Matt has informed us, is actually
Came out in 2015.
pretty old game,
But
but,
now it's on
it's
Switch.
now getting a Switch release, so it gives us
Yes.
a chance to look at this trailer, which I don't recognize this game.
Yeah, I've never seen this before. It looks kind of cool.
It looks pretty
Yeah,
Not a big fan of the art style.
it has mixed reviews on Steam.
I
It looks
apparently.
like one of those games.
I think the art style is okay. I think the animation kind of ruins it.
I think that's maybe my main problem. Also, it's got that haze. I think the actual like the graphic design, the menus looks really cool, but yeah, the rest is like, ugh, I don't know, buddy. I
So
don't
this
know.
It's like it seems like a stealth focused game.
Yeah, it looks very Mark of the Ninja.
Mark of the Ninja.
but,
But it's
like,
also
not
kind
as
of a bit
good.
more. I think it's a bit more of a like Mark of the Ninja was like level based, right? Like it's like get from A
Yes.
to B. This I don't think is. I think this game is like steal like big open area, steal the thing, and then
to
get out.
and like
Uh,
just use your
You know,
use the tools
abilities and
available.
gadgets and whatever to do things.
Speaking of which, for Mark of the Ninja, that re-release actually dropped recently, and I was like, man, that's a good game. I should,
It is
Yeah,
a
that
good
release
game.
looks good
I should
too.
replay that
They
game.
they redid all textures and everything.
It's
Like
a
it's
really
Mhm.
good game. God, that was such a good game. And
is
the
a very good
ending
game.
was like,
I didn't actually beat it.
oh, you didn't?
No.
Well, there's like a couple endings, but the one I got was like, man,
This sucks.
man, grim.
Oh,
Anyways.
next trailer.
Yeah, we'll get on to the next
Squadron
one.
42, the game that is coming out soon.
Which is coming
Is
out
it,
first.
does it have a date?
Your-
Does it have
no.
it? This is I'm not sure. Remember if this said it was had a date yet?
Your ability to change your PlayStation name or this? What will come first?
well, the PlayStation name has a date, so
Well,
I'm going to go ahead. How many big name actors can we get in our video game?
More than any sci-fi movie around now.
yeah.
We have $20 million. We have $100 million to spend because everyone just gave us a bunch of money. We're gonna get all the stuff. We're gonna get all the people. Motion capture the shit out of them. They're gonna be so motion captured.
What if like
Facial animations are gonna look so good.
what if like Wing Commander they would have just done all that as FMV since they
I
have
think that
the
was like
actors?
I think one of the original, maybe not original pitches, but like I think that was like partially why they went with the whole like like paid like well-known actors and like did all the motion capture stuff because like it's like you're talking to that person. It's like you're talking to Mark Hamill. He's right there, and he goes, "Who the hell are you?"
Yeah.
So there's Mark Hamill in here. There's
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. There's
It's all been announced over the
oh,
history.
what's her
of that.
name? The
That's that British guy that I forget
Mark
his
Strong.
name.
There's John. We saw some John Rhys Davies
Yep.
briefly.
John Rhys Davies very briefly there.
What's her name? The lady who plays Scully in X-Files, because she's in there too.
It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't remember it.
I don't remember. Sorry, lady.
Sorry.
Sorry, lady.
I'm
That
gonna
would-
look it up.
sure,
So I'm gonna
now
I can't remember.
she's not gonna listen to this podcast anymore.
I know. Sorry.
Gillian Anderson. Gillian Anderson.
See, I was like, it's not Jillian. It's Jillian something, but I didn't know what it was. But okay, Jillian Anderson is here as well. She's here.
She's here.
Yeah. There's the John Rhys Davies.
It looks
There's-
it looks pretty polished and pretty profesh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure. Yeah, it looks very visually like it's got a lot of lens flare and a lot of motion capture and a
engine
lot of
looks
like
cool.
fancy. Well, I don't think this all looked pre-rendered to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
These like all look like cutscenes. There's like one like 3-second clip at the very end of the trailer that looks like it could have been in game, but also looks like it's part of a cutscene as well.
I think there's actually like they actually showed some gameplay footage. Like there's like a separate video that's not a trailer, obviously. That's
Mhm.
like, here's what the game plays like, or what part of the game plays like.
Yeah.
So yeah, Squadron 42. I mean, I'm still not convinced that any part of this game is actually going to see an official release. Any part of this Star Citizen, because this is the like single player campaign like portion of
Yeah.
it.
This is the part that I think.
This is like I think I can't and I don't remember. I don't know anymore. What is
Like, how do you
like,
buy
is,
the
is,
game?
is,
Split
is
up.
this is this is this one package anymore? It's like Squadron 42 is a separate purchase
I think so.
Beats me,
by
man.
itself, and then the Star Citizen game is.
And
own
obviously they're
thing?
aiming to get this out first, I believe.
I think that's always been the plan, or
Yeah.
from what I've heard, is to get this one out first.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This has been such a weird.
It's such
like,
it's been going on forever.
like
like-
near quagmire, like in how much money it continues
Yeah.
to absorb, and
It's endless, man. You put more money in the game, more game will come out. Supposedly. Oh, let's see. Start the
Um,
adventure. Oh, I don't want to look at this whole thing. I was seeing if I could buy this game, but it's all like, no, privacy policy. Look at our Look at our face capture tech.
Yeah.
They're very much into that, which it looks good. Good for them.
Yeah. I hope this game comes out. I mean, I don't have a desire to see it not come out, but
No,
I'm
of course not.
still kind of confused as to what anything to do with Star Citizen actually is.
Looks like I could get this game for $45.
45.
Okay.
This just Squadron 42. I don't know anything else.
I'm just worried. All this cutscene looks cool. I'm just worried it's gonna end up being like just a Wing Commander type game in the end, and a very scripted one at that. So I don't really like Space Sims. Like I know people really like them, but I'm just not super
That's
into them.
also the guy who plays Davos.
That's it. That's why I recognize.
Oh, that's right.
He's in there
That's
as
right.
well.
Devils. All right.
Alrighty, well, that's that trailer. Moving
So
on.
you ready to see? Now you saw some realistic-looking humans. You ready to see some even more realistic-looking humans?
You want to see some humans that defy gravity?
If only Amber was here for this trailer, she would have loved it.
Dimension Drifter.
Do you like the same lady with different hair?
No,
we
dude,
cannot
this
tell
lady
if
has-
it's two different
This
ladies.
lady is blonde and has a katana. The other lady has blue hair and has like a meat cleaver. Oh wait, no,
They're
but this
totally
lady has a katana and she's gray haired. Maybe it's the same lady.
Yes, it is. It's the same person.
Maybe it's the same lady.
It's
and
the
you
same
just can
lady, it's the same
change her
ponytail.
hair
Always the same ponytail.
color. But anyway, this is like
you know what I sure love, guys, is it's like sponge up damage and don't really have any kind of like
This looks like Fortnite
Very
Save
much
the World like
reaction,
beta version, like the
the
original
most
Fortnite.
beta. Yeah, like even that game had way more. That
It had,
that
had
has
more than one
way
character
more.
model.
Well, and it had more than like
Oh, I know.
the visuals going for it were a lot better than this.
This
This is made by like one dude apparently. So
Okay.
you know,
Yeah,
All
props
right.
for
made
that.
by
Fair
Paul
enough.
However, you gotta
Schneider.
say one dude. You're
Are
really
you
creepy.
wait, are you saying a dude made this game?
I
How
would-
can you
Yeah,
tell?
because
Just a
you're
guess.
really creepy with your boob physics, dude. Because like the weird like super cleavage and then like just this bouncing up and down with no other kind of movement on the body at all is just.
What are you talking about? Look at those hair
really-
physics, dog.
Her hair physics and her
Ugh.
boobs bounce everywhere, but her
They bounce an equal amount.
her
It's like a
Yeah.
freaking Dead or Alive game. in
nothing
here with
else in her
that.
body moves. Is all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
it's really weird looking. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I don't like it.
And
0 out of
not
10.
even, not even for the sexism part, although that is bad too. But it's just like it just looks
bad.
Doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. It's gross.
Looks bad.
Why do you think it's called Dimension Drifter?
Because you're gonna because
Because it's the same lady, we got different dimensions.
But
So her
all
hair's
different.
different.
So her hair's slightly different each time.
Yeah.
Just like how your hair in a different dimension, Ricardo, was purple,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
mine's black.
purple beard.
But not the one on my head.
Now that's the same. That can't be changed.
You can't change that one. No dimension can fix that.
What do we got next? Just cause.
Cause.
Just cause.
Just cause.
Just cause 4.
Ah.
4, right? 4 is the one?
4. This is 4.
Yeah,
This
okay.
is the fourth one. This is the one that comes after 3.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how many of these games have come out because they all look the same.
They all look the same. You're right.
No, but I mean, to be fair, they all look. This is the story trailer, by the way. Which,
The part that nobody cares about.
yeah, I feel like.
My roommate told me he was playing through 3 right now, and he just mutes all the dialogue and just plays the game.
I see.
And I'm like, all right, you know
The
what?
stories
That's
in those
fair.
games have never been very
yeah,
good.
no, I totally get it, but I've just always been weird about like people, like playing games and doing other stuff at the same time. Like the
Just
only,
like mods.
Yes. the only
House rules, Ricardo. What are your thoughts on house
I
rules?
hate them. You didn't balance the shit. You just made this shit up with your family once. That's how you play it now. You bunch of savages.
None of the money goes. None of the money. Free parking. The rule book doesn't say to do
Yeah,
that.
what
It's
the
not
fuck?
Auction those properties.
Yeah, you didn't buy it. It's going up on auction. Here, 10 seconds. What's our best offer? Come on, Dad. $10? Fuck that. Somebody outbid them. Nobody? All right, here. You get the fucking best property on the board for $10, Dad.
No
Congratulations.
survivors, baby.
No, you can't build a fucking hotel on there. You need all the properties in the block, you dipshit.
But I want to build here. I own everything.
Why is your impression of Rico's dad Russian?
Hey, little Rico! Hey, you want to go bowling?
What are you talking about? My Russian descent is very well advertised
wears it
on
on
this
his
podcast.
very well documented.
Yeah, I've got a hammer.
I like how we didn't talk at all about Just Cause 4. We just
It looks fine.
It looks like
Like,
all right, moving on.
It's more. It shows a story the part
It's
nobody cares about.
more.
It looks okay. I
It's
don't know.
better, much better.
Rico can't lose. Yeah, it looks very. The trailer, like I
There's
mentioned,
lots of explosions.
the trailer for 3 and 2 are the same thing. Of like, the trailer is super self-serious. Of like, look at all this. Like, there's a lot of explosions, but also there's a lot of stuff going on that we gotta talk to you about. It's like, whatever, dude. No one gives a
cares. No one gives a F. Let me hook those two things together. Watch them fall into each other in weird physics.
Yeah. Yep. All right. That's that.
What about a more serious anime game? How about that? You guys remember this game? Because I almost did.
Cineris Somnia. Both two things that are definitely words.
Cineris
Somnia.
Revengeance.
It's a horror game. It's a Japanese horror game.
It's got hallways.
Oh,
it's
man,
got
that
creepy
guy
anime
is so
guys.
fucking
Creepy
hot.
anime
Ethan, you're
boys.
right. Someone is gonna try and give us $5. It's Fallon. She wants to give us
Oh,
$5.
Where's the door?
No, there's no way. There's no way to give $5 for my accents.
$5.
We haven't reached affiliate status on this account yet. It's just them there too.
Our apologies.
Listen,
you can just
My accents,
Cash-
you can't turn those off. It's just
you
come
can cash at me $5 and I'll tell Ethan to stop doing the accents. I promise.
but now how much would you pay to get Ethan to do not an accent that devolves into the same accent every single time?
Or just slightly, it's like a weird offshoot.
How much would you pay for this anime game?
Man, we're really talking about the trailers this
That's
week.
creepy churches. It's got creepy psycho asylums. It's got creepy anime boys and girls. What more could you
Hot.
ask for?
No, hot.
Is it first
anime
person?
Guys.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
There's that guy. He looks pretty hot.
I'm
Look,
creeped
watch,
out by
hold on, right
I'm creeped
now.
out by how hot
Look
he
at
is.
that
Hot!
guy. He's so fucking.
I would do it.
that's-
I would hit that.
I would do it.
I think you guys said.
I'd spend $5. What are we doing? What are we talking about?
You guys said this is a PT like. Do you agree? Do you think that's the
I think
truth?
it has a hallway, so it's PT like.
All games with hallways. PT invented the hallway.
I don't know.
No, PT did not invent the hallway. It
that's-
perfected the hallway.
Oh, man,
okay.
that was a dead bird.
pioneer.
Perfect.
Pioneer of the hallway.
It perfected
Many
the hallway.
games after have had hallways, but
Not the same.
This is my hallway. There are many like it, but this is mine.
indeed.
This show's alright.
This game looks like an anime game,
Spooky anime.
like a Resident Evil anime, but on a lower budget.
Dude's so hot.
Dude's pretty good. Pretty good.
It's pretty good too.
Pretty good.
Pretty good dude. That's a. All right, there we go. That's the name. That's the name of the episode. I got it.
Pretty good dude.
This is my memory of us release trailer for the PlayStation 4. This is like we were saying, somebody liked the art style of something like Cuphead, but couldn't actually.
The animation is very hard to do. To be like, Cuphead took like 4 years of hand animation. That's
This
a long
is
time.
Not to be disparaging, but this is very
It's
Flash.
not a one. It's not a 1-to-1 with Cuphead. It is
The same era, I think, is what they're trying to evoke.
is or like maybe just after, I think, because Cuphead's like the 20s, right? This is like 30s. This is like the Mickey Mouse cartoons, which Cuphead is. Kind
And
of
it
a little bit in
looks
that
like
age too,
there's.
but I guess-
Do you think there's some kind of like World War II allegory going on?
Yeah, I
here?
can't tell if this is
Or if
an
it's
actual
just a
World War II or if
full-on
this is like a
fictional-
there's like a robot. There's like a robot policeman.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
don't think
but
this
I
is a
mean, like,
real.
Look like robot
allegory
Nazis.
or like.
Yeah,
I-
it looks like it looks like it's on the nose there with it is in that era of World War II.
Yeah.
There's like flying robot skull
Probably trying to escape.
enemies, and those robots are dressed like Nazis. I thought they were replacement at first, but
Nah,
looking at
those are
the
Nazis,
got a
dude.
second look, those are SS looking dudes,
Yeah.
and that font
Crusty
is
observers.
that font is in that kind of World War II.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that one is hard to tell how good the game is because it's got like it looks like it has stealth. and that's not fun in 2D.
I don't like
or
that.
in 3D.
Get it outta
I
here.
don't like it. I don't like
Mark
it.
of the Ninja, stealth,
tell-
good stealth.
don't
It's
tell
like one of the
Kojima
only games that got it right. Also, only red is the only color, but only sometimes. Other times
I
it's
just
not.
realized it's like
other,
Schindler's
other times
List.
it's not a color that you
Don't
see.
tell Kojima that stealth is not fun.
You're right. I just realized it's like Schindler's List now. The red and the black and white.
Oh, is that how? I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's I didn't notice that.
So,
But it's only sometimes. Yeah, it looks kind of depressing. But I'm not sure if
How well executed it is.
that will be all down to execution. I feel like.
all right. So what about another story about execution? There's no execution. I don't know. I tried.
I actually don't remember what the next one was.
It's
It
short
was
trip to
back
Earth.
then.
It has nothing to do with execution at all.
Oh, yeah,
shortest-
this is a FTL like.
Except how well you execute your orders. There we go. I got there.
Got him.
You did something.
I got
all
there.
right.
I went through
You
many
went
paths.
somewhere, all right.
I went through there. Anyway.
Yeah. So this is FTL like, but it seems like there's a lot more stuff to manage.
more
Maybe?
sim.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
more
lot
simmy.
of there's definitely a lot of buttons over it, and there's like sleeping quarters and more things that you would do than in FTL.
Yeah, it seems like the
So there's definitely
exploration
that.
is a little bit more involved than just go to next screen and
It might be less running away from things, although maybe that's still in there too. But like, it definitely seems like explore, like go look for things, and that, as opposed to with the first game, it's just like you just need to get out, like get to the next area basically, and upgrade your ship and stuff.
Honestly, this looks like it could be cool. It dep-
Yeah, it could. It's hard to tell how.
And
Again,
then there's this
execution
weird-
I think is a
And then
big
there's
thing,
this
but-
other part.
There's this weird
This part is this like a thing in the game, or is this just for the
I
trailer?
don't think
Like,
so. I
what's
think it's
up
just for
with-
the trailer, but they
Okay.
introduced it literally at the very end of the trailer.
It's a very weird
A
thing.
dream of someone having a dream of maybe
having
at
two ladies being like,
the
yeah,
same
let's
time.
What can you do with two ladies
Then-
at the same time?
You
Disappoint
can
both
play
of them.
video games. You can play video games with them.
Oh, you're right.
That's what they want to do. Like, we like you a lot. You want to play this game?
And he's like, "Cool, I love it. Finally, I can
love
play
video games
Overcooked
that-
properly, the way it's meant to be played."
And
Three
then he
players?
3
and
players.
then he-
Only?
and then-
It's 4 might be a little too chaotic, you know,
Hmm.
a little too much, too many cooks in the
Um,
kitchen.
Too
And then he
many
wait-
cooks.
then he wakes up and they make a
Remember
funny
that.
joke about coffee. Remember that?
He makes a joke about the coffee.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. You guys are too many cooks.
What was that? What was that?
Like 4
It's
years
like
ago.
what was it, Smurf?
Yeah, smart. That guy with the face. He had like.
Who's
Yeah,
that big man?
That guy's been in a lot of movies. The main guy from that, he's been in a few movies as an extra.
Oh, the cat puppet?
Smarf,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
not
he's been-
Smarf, the serial
Smarf.
killer.
He's been in a lot of.
Smarf needs more acting roles.
I
He
just
does.
remember. They have to fight against Cooks. Is like has to like COOKS has to
Yeah.
fight against Beast Rebels of the Hellscape, which is
Yeah.
Broth.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
That's a great part.
I mean,
I just remember being at your house, Matt, and be like, "Have you heard of too many cook things?" You're like, "Yep, it's a thing. You should watch it. I'm not gonna say anything else about it."
That was basically what happened.
I think
was
I was
like,
over at
like-
Mike's other
Oh yeah, his old
place
place. I think.
when I first saw it.
Yeah, that was like one of those moments of like, it had been going for about 2 minutes. And he's like, "Okay, I get it. We can stop now." And I'm like, "No, you just
No.
gotta let it go all the
Yeah.
way. Like,
You have to see this through.
you started something, you have to finish it."
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We're just not talking about trailers at all. This
No,
trailer.
let's talk about the trailer. The trailer.
The shortest trip to
shortest-
Earth.
No, shape-shifting detective.
Shifting detective is what we're moving on.
We're moving on to this because it is from the same people who made
the infectious madness.
Doc-
of
Dr. Decker.
Is it Drecker or Decker? I always get
Decker,
confused.
Decker.
Decker. Okay.
but has the guy from Contradiction in it. The guy, Have you
Yeah.
ever seen a game that looks like this?
Jenks. It's Detective Inspector Jenks.
Jinx.
Have you seen this?
It's
It's. Have you tried Simon's Homebrew?
I just love it because
and the lady from one of the ladies from Dr. Decker's in here
Yes.
too. Right? The
I
lady
feel
with
like
red hair.
I feel like if
in-
you go back and look, there might be a couple of people from Dr. Decker in this.
Yeah.
I've looked. I don't recognize anyone else.
You
but-
are a. It's a bummer that we can't play the audio in the thing. I almost feel like we should. It is you play a shape-shifting detective, and all the characters are like, "Are you shape-shifting on me?"
Yeah. They're like, you're
also, you probably can have sex with everybody because like there's like 3 or 4 shots of you over somebody in a bed, and they're like, "Do you want to shapeshift? Have you shapeshifted already?" And I'm like, "What's going on?"
What is
yeah, I'm
implied
not
here?
sure like if the point is like
This is my kink, and
I don't
Let's
understand. I'm not sure if the point is like you can shapeshift into anybody, so like that's how you get information out of specific people by shapeshifting into somebody else, or what. But like,
I just hope there's as much acting in this as there was in Contradiction Spot the Liar, because I like acting and I want the most acting there can possibly be. That's what I demand in my FMV.
I want the most. If there's not enough, you got to put more in. I mentioned that the receptionist from Decker is also in here, but
Yeah.
I don't recognize her.
And also, fuck the police. We could play sound if we want to. I play
Also-
licensed music on my stream all the time.
I mean, we
Come get
usually
me.
we usually
we do
do
it because they'll get in the way of us.
we get
What?
copyright
Well,
we get copyright stung a lot anyway. But like this game, I don't think is the one that's going to trigger. Listen,
The
guys,
mermaid
is
lady.
that Vinny Caravella in the?
It looks like
one?
him.
It looks so much
Looks
like
a
him.
lot like him.
It looks so much like him, but I don't think it's him.
I don't think it's him either, but it looks very similar. Very, very similar. Yeah, I'm interested in this game because I think Dr. Decker has some gameplay issues, but it goes for it.
And I don't it's hard to tell, of course, because this is just a trailer, but you don't see the gameplay. But it does not look like you were typing stuff in the way you did in the last
I don't know if
Decker.
they just like removed that for the
Yeah,
sake of like making the trailer more
it's-
cinematic.
It's obviously very hard to tell. Yeah, it's not
Also,
gonna be.
the guy who plays Jenks is still just
He's in it, man.
going
He's
for
into it.
He's,
Yeah, he's going
in
for it.
there.
There's more
Also, you
There's more
kick-
camera. There's more camera angles
Also,
in
you
Decker.
kicked this photographer dude in the balls. That's
Yeah,
so
you
funny.
kicked him in the balls. Like you guys need, if you're watching this, or if you're listening to this or watching this
Yeah, it's
on
this
Twitch,
part. Why
you
there?
need to
There.
go. You need to
Watch
go.
the action trailer. Just watch
Go
the
watch
action
the trailer. It's on our website.
It's the shape-shifting
Uh,
detective teaser trailer. If you're in
it
the stream
is.
right now and want to watch.
It is. I am teased. I'm effectively been teased by this trailer.
It's coming out real soon. It's coming out in November.
November
Great.
6th.
Oh wait, hold on.
Great. You know what
Or-
that means.
Hold on. It's
You know what
it's-
that means.
Or is it already out? No, it can't already be out, right?
11/6/18. That's unless they're doing the British.
They're doing the
version
British
dates,
It's
version.
already out.
which means it means it came out in June.
No, it can't already be out. So it has to
It
come
came
out.
out in June. It came out on June 11th. If that's the British date.
Let's see. We'll see if it's available right now. If so, then go out
Yeah.
and play this game right now.
Why would they post the teaser trailer just now?
I don't know.
that
Sometimes
would
like
be
IGN posts weird stuff.
This is game trailers. Game trailers, you're goofing it up. They're just
Oh,
like
well,
put his
game trailers.
Just
They
like
don't
that
they don't have a
overacting.
website anymore now.
just
The
a
Shapeshifting Detective is $10.39.
interesting choice.
It comes out November. It comes out November.
Okay.
November sixth.
$10.39.
It must be a
It-
conversion thing, maybe.
If it was
It-
$10,
It's coming out. It's coming out on election day. Yeah, it's 20% off right now for
There you go.
So
Cast
go
your ballot
out and vote,
to go out and vote with
and
your
then
dollar.
reward yourself with
The shape-shifting
the
detective.
shape-shifting.
Which also a good name. A good name.
The Shapeshifting Detective. Guys, should we play this together when we hang out after
Well,
Thanksgiving?
we have way too many games to play. We gotta pick
Ah,
the Quiet
fuck.
Man.
What was the other game? I can't remember what the
Quiet
game was. Quiet Man. The Quiet
How can you
Man.
forget the Quiet Man?
He's too quiet. Snuck up on him.
He doesn't speak up. He doesn't speak up enough. He's
Are
got-
you
he's got-
are you dumb?
no, are you stupid?
Are you stupid or really stupid?
Shape-shifting detective. I want to play that.
All right, so what wins, y'all?
Shape-shifting
I
detective.
think it has to be shape-shifting.
I'm gonna throw one for
Detective.
Squadron 42 because that actually made me go like,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
look
you
up
know
the
what?
prices of
It's a
Star
well done
Citizen.
trailer, and
Yeah,
of course
it's
has
a well done
star power,
trailer.
but doesn't have Jenks in it.
That doesn't- Man, that's the real
star.
actor they should have
That's
got.
the real star.
Fuck Mark Hamill. Give me Jinx.
Where was he? We could have had him going like,
Who the hell are you? He's doing an American accent.
Who the
Yeah.
devil are you?
The devil.
just got a couple more questions, please. These aliens, what's up with them? All right, guys.
Have you tried that homebrew?
Shape-shifting detective teaser trailer wins this week's trailer trash, and that about wraps it up for for this week's podcast. So thank you for watching on Twitch. Thank you for listening on iTunes or whatever is your podcast app of choice. If you wouldn't mind giving us a rating and review or following us on Twitch, you can catch our live streams every Thursday at around 8 p.m. or the podcast should come out Friday most weeks if I'm on top of my editing. So yeah, give us a rating, review. Check out our website, pixelwedges.com with 1L, and we have a Twitter page, Facebook, all that good stuff. You can like us and follow us and do all the things to get notifications for when we're doing our stuff. I will not be streaming this weekend because my parents are in town.
Have them on the stream. Show them the joys of Mass Effect 2.
I would, but they actually really don't like Mass Effect 2, unfortunately.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Man, you know, we all have issues with our parents sometimes, but like, yeah, man, I'm
it's
sorry,
the sort of
dude.
thing we're working through.
I didn't want to bring it up on stream. I'm sorry.
If you told my dad that it was Wolfenstein 3D, he would be like, "Oh yeah, I want to watch you play it. Those survivors, baby." Oh wait, no, excuse me. He'd be like, "Hey, I want to watch you play it."
Like, what is this game you're playing, son?
I'm from Pennsylvania now.
What? Well, it is October.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Spooky daddy. Total scary, Rick.
Spooky daddy.
I've been watching Riverdale. I've seen some spooky daddies.
You mean sexy daddies?
There's also there's
sexy.
spooky, scary, and sexy daddies in that show.
So many
And there's a
emotions.
lot of daddies in that show because everyone uses the word daddy and not just dad for every father in that show.
Cool.
Moving on. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week with more Pixel Podcast.